Alright, this is another project for Miss Fong, and in this one we were designing an LP cover. My my record cover was the Astro-Musical House of Aries. As you can see, the original album, which came out sometime between the 60s and 70s, featured a woman in a cloak blanket thing, I guess. I don't know if that's high fashion or just what they thought was kind of cool and maybe edgy. It's strange. It has a ram on the front, and inside was a booklet about Aries as an astrological sign. I took this and immediately started brainstorming about Aries, the constellation, the sign. I was looking up Aries posts. One I found to be strangely prevalent was things to bother believing in, love switchblades and extraterrestrials. I'm not completely sure why that quote is a thing. It was kind of entertaining though. Then I started thinking about the tarot deck with the Knight and the Queen of Fire. The Knight of Fire is a card that is supposed to be your passion, adventure, and unrest. And the Queen of Fire is, you know, the positive side to your fiery nature, your confidence, warmth, and grace. So I had the idea of the Queen possibly betraying, or the Queen possibly being betrayed by the Knight, or the idea of passion killing your grace. I took this very literally at first, then I took a page of different ideas. I had a thought process between, you know, the aggressive side of Aries, which is the god of Mars from Greek and Roman mythology, of rebellion, weaponry, strategy, and the like. I originally had a very literal idea of the knight burning the fire card or stabbing the queen, but I shied away from that in the end, and I decided to go for a more real-world example. I was looking at 70s pinup, and the idea of still keeping the very feminine-focused piece originally in mind. But 70s pinup, you don't have a lot of clothes at all, so I went back to the 50s for this, and I think a lot of the tarot movement really started in the 50s and 60s, as well as, you know, other strange sort of things like that. And of course, I decided to relate the queen, to our queen, which is of course the Navy, so I drew a pinup, sailor girl. I have some ships in my references, some more ships. That's one of the seals of the Royal Canadian Navy. I went through, played with layouts. I ended up drawing a boat and a sailor, and I guess I'll show you guys the album cover now. So here's the album cover. In all, you can see that we've got our very nice sailor girl in a pinup pose with her thumb on the wrong side of her hand, which I didn't realize to fix until it was done. I hadn't printed out. Just too bad. But you've got the boat, which signifies, of course, the Queen's Navy being burnt. The burn didn't show up quite as much as I wanted it to, but it's certainly there. Then you have her, who is the kind of Coast Guard, the knight, who is, you know, challenging the camera. She's very intent. You got the title of the album, which is in a very bold, almost circus-like font, because I think originally a lot of cards and things like tarot were very commercialized and seen as very out there. So I've got, of course, the carnival lights and the font used in the title. The blue holds it all together between the ink there and that and there. This is the Royal Canadian Navy's trident to show what her affiliation is. And that's about it. I used collage in the background to signify a sort of wave. I wanted the boat to look like it was rocking on the wave. That didn't quite go through. The tissue paper blotted out the texture more than I wanted it to, but you can still see the intention there. So yeah, thank you for listening, and that's all.